This conference will now be recorded.
Hello. Hello. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, Anastasia, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So just before we proceed, just wanted to know that are we already working on ERP or SAP, or how does it?
No, I'm not.
Anastasia, I have not worked on ERP, but I have a background in HR. I have 7 years of experience in talent acquisition. So I know I am an actual HR person, but I have been a end user. It's not like I have worked on an ERP.
Great.
And
Great.
I'm totally a fresher. I don't know anything about it. I
Oh.
have a journalism background.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. 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 Nice to hear. My name is Anustup. I have been working in IT close to 14 years now, and moved to SAP 9 years ago, and doing corporate trainings for last 5 years now, cross training modules like HR, MM, success factors, and cloud Azure technologies. So before we move ahead, I just give you a brief idea about how the enterprise structure works, right? And after that, we can process with SAP HCM.
Okay.
Sure.
Now, whatever is the application, maybe it SAP, Oracle, or maybe any other application, if you can speak about, like success factors, or can be
Workday.
Workday, PeopleSoft, or anything like that. These all applications are what? These are a base to create and manage the enterprise resources, right? That's what enterprise resource planning was in demand. Because with a single application, you can manage your entire resources. You can manage the entire resources of the organization. Not only that, you can also monitor the performance of your enterprise. Now, when I say monitoring the performance of your enterprise, it means that you not only need to monitor the performance of the employees, side by side, you need to monitor the performance of the employees, the departments working for it, right? Now, you need to check the feasibility. You need to check the scalability, how you can grow in future. Now, you need to predict your future as well. So once we started with an organization, we need to predict the future of our organization, how well we can perform after 5 years, right? Considering these things in market, in our mind. Now, before we start off with any business, let's say we are starting off an organization for HRM, or let's say we are starting with an organization for IT, or let's say we are starting with an organization for e-commerce, online platform, or maybe start with an organization which is into manufacturing, deeply into cone manufacturing. So whatever it is, we need a business process to work, right? There should be a set defined rules in which every department will work. Now, when I say rules, it means that we need to measure the key performance indicators. Right. So key performance indicators will be both for the department, both for the employees. Same, it goes hands in hand. So based upon the kind of level an employee is working on, or based on the line of business or the department in that the employee is working, or based upon the business or the business operations which we are dealing in. So all these things has to be monitored with an application. So primarily it will be a software application, because we would be working with connecting with online with the server, either on an on-premise application or through a cloud computing, right? That is what ERP is all about. Am I able to make sense?
Yes, Kaustubh, it's clear.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, once in enterprise resources planning, there are many softwares in the market. We already know that it can be JD Edwards, it can be Oracle or stuff like that, or it can be SuccessFactors or any other application. So if we speak about SAP, SAP was started in the year 1972 with 5 German employees. They used to work for IBM. Their name was Wellenreuther, Hopp, Hector, Platter, and Teixeira. So they started this application for SAP with a vision to create a standard application software for real-time business processing. Now, the definition for SAP is system applications, products, and data processing. Now, these days, you might have heard about this definition a little different, but primarily SAP means system application and products in data processing. So in inception, it started with several releases like R1, R2, and R3. The initial system in which we would be working on, that is SAP R3 application. This one is the R3 application. So let me take you through the SAP HCM details. So an ERP system consists of all these. So it is a combination of merging all these departments in one place with a single software. That is why ERP was popular. Now, as we go on with IT and cloud computing, we will see like starting from like 15 to 20 years down the line, there would be a lot of other things keep on adding in this system. So like right now, if we look at, it is already started with cloud computing, wherein we can we don't need any servers or any IT team or any data backup team or any data management team of our own. Rather, SAP will directly manage everything for us. We will just need to pay them as per the subscription and as per the instances or the number of users will be working on the system, right? Now, the current system, the training which we are looking at, SAP HCM, that is an on-premise system. Now, in this on-premise system, what happens is once this company decides that we need to look at an application for SAP HCM, so they will directly connect with SAP and they will speak about them, that the kind of licensing and the requirement they would be having in the organization, and they wish to optimize how they wish to optimize their HR processes, how they want to grow as an HR organization. So for that requirement, they will connect with SAP HCM directly. They will either they can directly go to SAP or they can speak to the implementation partners, like it can be your IBM, or it can be Tata Consultancy Services, or it can be any other organization. These are basically all implementation partners. Now, in that, they will discuss this phase is known as a requirement gathering phase. In this phase, the company, maybe say for example ABC, they will discuss their requirement with an SAP directly, or maybe with SAP business partner, or with implementation partners. Now, they understand this. It is a basic concept and very important concept to understand all the ERP applications. Now, suppose this company is already running an ERP application. Maybe it is an application like Oracle. Now, I'm just giving you an example. All right, so it might be different application here. So they might face challenges in talent acquisition process. This is again an example I'm giving you. So they might face any issues with their talent acquisition process, or maybe facing issues with their training, learning, development, or maybe into say performance and goals management, or maybe they are facing issues with their core HR functions like organization management, or it might be personal administration, or it might be like payroll. So for example, they are using an application that is Oracle Fusion, right? Or it can be any other ERP application. So what they will do is, this company will decide, or they will keep a project manager who will discuss with this implementation partners, or they will directly discuss with the SAP about their requirement or the challenges they are facing, right, in their organization, and how well they can optimize these challenges with SAP HCM software, right. Once they discuss this, they will look at the licensing part. So in the licensing part, they will have to discuss about the availability and the scalability of, or the cost factor, you can say. They need to decide about the availability and the cost factors of the various integrations available, so that they can connect the current ERP application with SAP HCM, right. So in this once they decide about these things, they will look at the licensing part, and this company will pay to SAP or the business partner the licensing fee. Now once this payment is done, now SAP or the implementation partner will directly coordinate with the project manager of ABC organization. They will sit and discuss how they will plan the implementation phase to implement the SAP HCM in their organization, right? So in the implementation phase, there are various phases like project preparation, now blueprint, after that they need to discuss about the various testing part. So it will be UAT testing. They call it as an user acceptance testing or UAT testing. Here the quality parameters will also need to be checked and understood. Then they will look at the training. So it will be how they will be planning the training sessions for this company so that they can use the SAP HCM applications. Last is go live. Once the implementation happened in this organization and they started to work with SAP HCM application, they also need support for this particular application. So this implementation partners or SAP business partners will give them a support for complete 1 year. Once the till the date, starting the date, the implementation is happening. Suppose the implementation is go live from 25th of April 2021. So they will support this company for 1 year. So it will be support will be till 25th of April 2021. That is about the SAP implementation phases and the how an organization approaches to SAP and they get the license for that product, and they look at the various scalability options for integrations. Not only integrations, they also need to look at the connectors available. So we'll go deep into that once we start off with the session, but now I will not go into it because it might confuse our goal to understand the SAP HCM today.
I have a question here.
Yeah, tell me, sure.
What do you mean by support for 1 year?
Support means suppose you started with your organization today, right?
Yeah.
And you feel that you need an application for HR. Maybe your company is primarily into HCM. Okay.
Okay.
Now you contact with any implementation partner. Say TCS is implementing SAP HCM in your company, right?
Okay.
So it will take at least 6 to 9 months to implement the SAP entire application on your company in your organization, right?
Okay.
So once the organization is or the implementation is over, like you are starting to use the SAP HCM application in your organization, Tata Consultancy will give support to your organization for the entire 1 year from the date when the application is go live.
Like if there is any problem you face or something like that, then they'll help, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Now, so ERP system is what? It is a collection of a process in which entire organization is collected to one application system through various departments and line of businesses. Now, if you look at SAP HCM, the sub-modules of SAP HCM are employee database, organization management, recruitment, time recording and evaluation, compensation management, training, personal development, workforce planning, then personal cost planning. So if you need to look at what all things are recorded in SAP HCM system in terms of employee, now if you need to speak about the employee database, under the employee database, we have details for employee personal data, organizational assignment, family details, education. So basically all the information related to an employee since the date an employee is hired until the date there's any other changes in that employee's life cycle. So maybe that employee can be transferred to a different location or he can be promoted to a different level. or it might be so that this employee can be moving to any other organization for better opportunity, right? Or this person in a worst case scenario can also be terminated. So all these things will be captured in the SAP HCM application. So details about his background, his salary details, working hours, leave entitlement, so on and so forth. Now medical record details is also being captured. We can skip it. It's not that important as of now. Next is HR administration. So system will generate an employee number. So once an employee is hired, system will automatically generate an employee number with effective dates. So suppose if the employee is hired from today or maybe tomorrow, so starting from that date, say 26th of April 2021, the employees will be hired and they will be getting the details about uh, when that employee is hired, what source or what from which placement organization that employee was hired, or from which company he is coming, for what designation he is being working on, and now the current status of the employee, whether that employee is started to work or he or she has been on training or learning and development. So all these things are uh, under the HR administration. So HR administration in SAP HCM gives the option for fast entry features wherein we can screen for multiple employees. Okay, so multiple screen for one employees can also be there. Now data driven reminders, so you can set alerts and reminders. Suppose if there is any birthdays or any important dates which we need to record for that particular employee, we can do it. Then we have features of search feature for selecting the employee with the employee number, department, supervisor, etc. Right. So authorization restriction is also there. We can get the authorizations done as and when we require. Suppose if you want to give a promotion to a particular employee, you need to get the authorization done from that departmental head, right? So that is the authorization wide concept is also applied to SAP HCM. Now it has the features for standard reporting. Now in case if you need to build any report which has to be customized, it can be on a monthly basis or an quarterly basis or an annual basis, depends upon the requirement at that point in time. We can all deal it with SAP HCM. Now ad hoc reporting is another feature being added. So ad hoc reporting is what, like if you need to create an instant reporting. Suppose if you need to monitor the employees attendance for today, and you also need to look at the employees break timings, and you need to look at the employees login time, logout time. So these features is basically applied for the companies which are working on shifts schedules. Like if you can speak about ITES organization or like business process outsourcing BPO companies, wherein we need to note the negative and the positive times, like how long the company employee is on break, how long he's been logging online, right? So all these features are there in SAP HCM. Next is organizational management. So organization management will cater to all the departments, the projects, right? The positions, the holder of the positions, then the vacant positions, department heads, and so on and so forth. So it will also cater to the job profile, the job description, the job evaluation data, then planned compensation, authorities of positions, work centers, and the restrictions associations with positions and work centers. This is the basis workflow of the organization management. So planning scenarios, helps in strategic planning, integrated functionalities, then cost planning. We can plan the enterprise strategically with the help of SAP HCM, right? So we can plan various costs associated to a particular department. We can also plan the employee development, that is learning, training, and recruitment, right? We can also manage the compensation plans for a particular employee with organization management modules. Let's look at recruitment process. So in case if you need to hire say 12 employees for a particular position, now starting from the advertisement, then applicant master data is the entire data of the organization, which is carried throughout the organization for each and every processes and each and every modules. So right from giving the advertisements online or maybe on newspapers or whatever is the medium, SAP HCM will be managing it. So advertisement, applicant master data, then whatever applicants will be doing. So if an employee is applying online and he is filling up the form, he is posting his resume, he or she is applying through any other designations or what all designations he has applied. And now if you can also customize pre-built questionnaires uh, regarding that particular employment hiring, right? So all these things can be managed. This is a bit more about how advertisement, maintain and monitoring the mediums used, like internals or externals, because sometimes there is an employee hiring can also be scaled across, or we can also give the advertisements internally, right? That we need to hire someone internally, or maybe we can move someone strategically to any other designation. Or what we can do is we can initiate the hiring process to all the employees who are already working in the organization, so that we can like what you can say, it will be less cost involved in it if we look at the hiring process in terms of employee referrals. So we will only hire employees through employee referrals. So it will be an easier way to hire employees. So all these things can be set up with SAP HCM process. So evaluating each instruments like total applicants per vacancy, date, period, cost per applicant, all these things can be managed from the advertisements. So the master data will include the initial data entry of the personal data of the employee, then the organization assignment, the overall status, reference persons, so on and so forth. Now applicant check, like whether this applicant is already a former applicant or the employee or whatever it is. Everything will be recorded. Like additional data which includes the educational skills, skills required for that job. So it will also have the competencies factors also. That is not added in the slide, but I'm adding it on. Now vacancy assignment, then previous employment. So it will also have the applicant activity. Now applicant administration plan and completed, like inviting for the test, now inviting for the interview. All these things will be managed from this SAP HCM application. Now giving offer letters, right? Now selection process is what? It will be based on the requirement profile, the positions. Now profile matchup can be an internal applicants or through an external applicants. Now factors can be either a suitability percentage or through a preferences or a potential dislikes or likes. Now hiring is, we need to allot an employee number. Once we have hired any particular employee, we need to give an employee number, or we need to give an number to that employee, so that next time whenever there is any change or any transactions happening regarding to that employee, we can record it on the system. So applicant data transfer to employee data, now personal data, education, skills, and the previous employment data, everything will be recorded here.
I have a question. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So you
Right.
talked about the number, right? So is that number a kind of a sequence number?
Not a, yes, you can say it, but it will not be every time in sequence. It is a number which will be given to an applicant. Suppose if an applicant has applied today, now he is hired on, say, for example, 5th of May. Now the joining date is 5th of May. So
Okay.
once that employee joins in, you need to give your personal number to that particular candidature in the system.
It's not
Candidate
necessary.
ID.
Yeah, kind of
When
ID, not necessarily a sequence number, kind of, right?
No, it's not necessary. It will be a sequence number. System will automatically assign you. Suppose
Oh, okay.
suppose if you have hired me today. Now,
Mm-hmm.
once you have hired me, you gave me the offer letter. Once you gave me the offer letter, you will give it from the system. So before that, you will do the initial data entries like my name, my previous experience, and all these details. So system will generate a temp employee number automatically. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Now that temp employee number will be automatically generated from the system once you put in the initial entries,
Okay.
right? After that, once that employee is hired on that hiring day, that temp number will be the same, but it will become an employee number. Okay.
Okay.
So
And it's
because that
unique
will
for
be based
every
upon the
employee, right?
yes, because why it is giving a temp number on the first beginning day, because you don't know whom that person will be reporting to, right? Or which
Right.
department that person is exactly moving in. So that is why on the date of joining that will be decided, and he will be given a employee number on that
Right.
day. So hiring will allot an employee number, okay, which we already discussed it, I think. Now, other information maintained are the organization assignment, then working time, leave entitlement, deadlines, etc. So the application, suppose if we need to look at the applying to the company, this is an example, like suppose this employee Rajiv is applying for this any application to your organization. So he puts in the initial data in the system, like the address and the telephone number and the email address and so on, date of birth. So this will automatically come and store in the SAP databases, right? And this employee or the candidate who is applying on the job postings from you, he will get this option like, thank you, you will be featured in your job hot jobs, right? This is just an automatic reminder being given to the person who is applying to the jobs in your organization. So to post a web-based applications, what happens is we can either look at a medium of an online application form, like we can directly put in the jobs in our career sections in our website, or what we can do is we can directly link with any job portals like Indeed or maybe Naukri, or these days LinkedIn, Glassdoor, or any other applications. We can directly speak to them and we can post the jobs, or we can post it online, just looking at the various options available to post a job. So once it is done, it will be automatically linked with your website, your company's website, so which will have the vacant position details, the location of the hiring, the required skills, and the education requirement. Each and everything will be maintained in it. But what we will be doing as an employee, we will do all the initial configuration changes or the requirements in our SAP HCM system, right? And we will just link it with Glassdoor or LinkedIn or any other job portal, so that whenever an employee is applying to that job, he will be redirected to our website and we will capture the details about that particular employee. That is how the initial process of hiring goes. Now, if we need to look at the, sorry, you're saying something?
No.
Okay. Now, next is if we need to look at personal development, like in personal development, we also go through the aspects of training and various other the learning processes which which the employee has to go through. So suppose this is a temporary job, like an example job application. You need people with 3 years experience in Oracle financials and SAP for Project Safari. Maybe the project is Safari, and that person has to be and has an experience with Oracle Financials and SAP for Project Safari. So here, just give me 1 minute. Some issue with my system. So here we're looking at the professionals of Oracle and SAP required for the project. So there might be these all number of applicants will be applying for this particular job application. Maybe there might be some applications who has an experience of 4 years, and total experience is 9 years, right? There might be experience into Oracle into 2 years, overall experience is 8 years, right? So these are the kind of applications you might be receiving. Now out of that, you saw that this guy is the best match. Okay. Now based upon the suitability, the other factors. Now once you choose this candidate, now SAP HCM system also helps in the career planning, the training, recruitment and succession planning, and the shift planning automatically. So everything is aligned side by side. Okay. It also helps you in building a list of competency profiling, like identifying a catalog qualification for position for employees, applicants, defining the alternate qualifications. So what happens is, if you look at an systems 20 years ago, and that hiring process is what used to happen is we need to do all these things manually, right? Looking at the experiences, judging the skills of that employee, judging the competencies, giving them the written examinations to do. Now all these things will be managed from SAP HCM system only. So in case if you need to build on any assignments to them, that can also be done from the system itself, right? So once you are looking at the potential candidates for hiring, side-by-side system will also help you with career and succession planning, so that you can also plan the career development plans for that particular employee. You can also plan the succession planning for that particular employee. You can also look at the various other learning and training development, what you can offer to this particular employee. All these things can be managed from here only. So this is an example of a succession planning. Suppose in a typical organization, what all the ways in which a person can move. So from a trainee to an engineer, then to a manager, then to a general manager, vice president, and so on. Or it can be a manager to assistant general manager, or a general manager, or a trainee to an executive. Then executive can directly move to management level, right? So these all things will be managed by the system itself. We don't have to get worried about how we will be managing the entire process, or how we need to work on it. These things will be managed from the SAP system itself. We don't need to work on it. So succession planning is based on the career models and takes into consideration the skills and the experience of the employees. Now next is, we need to manage, once the employees hired, the employees are working, we need to manage the payroll of the various employees, right? Like which date the employees will be getting paid, what all will be the bank accounts, from which cost center those particular employees will be paid. So everything will be managed from the HCM system. Gross payroll, net payroll, deductions, pay reclassifications, now interface to other payroll packages. Okay, now country specific payroll rollouts. Now country specific payroll rollouts is what, like suppose if you look at a payroll structure in India, now if you look at a payroll structure in Australia, or maybe New Zealand, or maybe in countries like United Kingdom, or maybe US, those all payroll structures are different. Why they are different? Because every country will be having a different set of rules and taxations which has to be followed. Based on that, those payroll structures are being defined. So all these things by default is already there in SAP HCM system. We just need to use the system and we need to edit the details which we would be using, and payroll will start running. Now, in case we need to manage the performances of the employee, giving them the employee, in every organization will be having a mid-year review or maybe an annual review or a quarterly review for the employees, right? So the entire process of employee appraisals, if we look at starting from the employee appraisals to 360 appraisals, then project surveys. So 360 appraisals is what? It will be an overall survey. So once the survey form started of an performance and goals, it will always be start with a form. So now when I say it's a form, it will not be a physical form, it will be an online form. Right, please don't mind my spellings because
No problem at all.
so in this scenario, 360 appraisals means suppose you have started with a mid-year review for a particular employee. It will have various rating scales and a route map which it will follow. So it will start from an employee, then moving to a team lead or a lead for that project. Then it will move to an HR or line HR manager. Then it will move to your reporting manager, or so on and so forth. Now 360 review means it will also have a sort of bulker approach in that. Suppose if you see that an employee is consistently performing from January to say in the month of October throughout, he is performing very well. Now, due to any mishap in his family, or maybe due to his health, or maybe due to any other option, any other things, that person is not able to perform in the month of October, November, and December. But that doesn't mean that you will not give an appraisal to that employee. So that is what ERP is important, that it gives you an option for bulking that other months details and data, and it will capture, it will help you to analyze those months data, and it will help you to give scores to those months in which that employee was not able to perform due to any personal reasons, right? So these all things will be managed from SAP HCM system. Now next is compensation management. So in case we need to manage the compensations of any particular employee, or we need to manage any flexible top-up plan or any other eligibility rules. Maybe suppose if you are sending a particular set of employees to any tours or any corporate event, maybe that employee will be moving out of India for any urgent project requirement. So this is a separate compensation plan, like which will not be at par with a normal salary structure which has been followed in your organization. So all these things will be managed from SAP HCM application. Then, as we already discussed, like everything regards to our training, regards to our learning, will be managed from the system. So starting from scheduling, demanding, then looking at the external prices, the internal prices, the list of resources which we will be having for any event of training, right? Then location building, booking the resources, capacity, and so on and so forth. So everything will be managed. Not only that, we can also generate the various reports which will be required for our training. So suppose in case we are putting a huge in case we are planning a huge training event, maybe for any particular campus in any big city, maybe you might be looking at the forecasting that there will be at least 1,500 to 2,000 students who will be attending to that event. So for that, you need to schedule the entire event. You need to look at the various options, how well you can attract those students to so that they can come to the event, right? Giving them various other coupons, giving online advertisements, starting from placing the event in such a way that it is more attractive to the students who will be aspiring that kind of career. Okay, so all the planning for your, what you can say, business executive management, right? Starting from your demand planning, scheduling, then looking at the various reports. So all these things will be managed from the system. So looking at the worldwide system of training calendars, searching for future courses, booking, pre-booking, and cancellation, right? Everything will be managed from the system. Attendees, so you can generate the reports that how many people will be attending. Now, how many people will be attending as per the training history. Might be saying similar kind of event you might have already done in the previous years. So you need to look at that. So all these things will be done from the system itself.
We will learn configuring all this in the system.
Yes, definitely.
All the modules that you spoke of currently, all the HR functions.
Yes. I need to check the syllabus once. I'll just give me 1 minute.
Sure.
Yes, we will be looking at it. We will looking at the features of the various modules. Okay.
Okay.
Training management is actually a different module in SAP HCM. There are various modules, right? 6 to 7 modules. So in that it comes, but we have to look at the processes for each and every module in the training. Otherwise, we will not understand the details, right? So we'll look at it. Now, personal cost planning. Let's not look at it in more detail because personal cost planning will give us
You said that this SAP has 6 to 7 modules, right?
Mhm.
So this HCM is one of them.
No, I'll just tell you.
Okay.
See, what happens is SAP HCM is one of the key modules in SAP. Okay, if the broader aspect is SAP, right?
Okay.
Under that, we have various modules like SAP Material Management, SAP Warehouse Management, SAP Finance, that is SAP FICO, right? There are
Yeah.
modules SAP Extended Warehouse Management. There are modules like SAP uh, Business Warehouse Management, Data Analytics, and so on and so forth. Now, in terms of human capital management, the module is SAP HCM. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, under SAP HCM, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 modules. One is
This is
organization.
under HCM, right?
Yes, these are under HCM,
Okay.
right? See, SAP Enterprise Resource Planning System that has these are primary modules. Like in case if you need to look at the logistics part, I'll explain you. In case of you need to look at the logistics part, under logistics we have SAP MM, then SD, then EWM, WM, and so on. So it also has LE, that is logistics execution. So MM is material management, sales, SD sales and distribution, EWM is extended warehouse management, WM is warehouse management, LE is the logistic execution. Okay. Now similar to that, if we need to look at the finance, under the finance there are modules. There are also various modules like FI. Then there are modules like CO. Okay, or we can work in both FI plus CO, which is also known as FICO, which is a combination of finance and CO module. Now let me show you, take you to the system, you will understand it better. This is the SAP HCM, SAP entire system. Okay, you're able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in case if you need to look at the logistics module, these are the various modules of logistics. Okay. Now, if we need to look at the human resources, these are the modules for human resources. Like starting from personal management, then time management, payroll, learning solutions, training and event, training needs management, organization management, travel management, environment, health and safety, then information system. These are the various modules of SAP HCM.
Okay.
Okay, so we have pretty much done the demonstration now. In case if you have any questions, you can please let me know.
So Anustub, this is Pramod here. Just to set some context, I'm Soumya's husband. I've been in SAP for over 15 years now, with a lot of consulting experience on finance. So with that background, I just wanted to understand from a system perspective, you're going to teach on R3, is it? This is an
Yes,
R3,
yes.
R3 instance. Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever business processes you showed, you're also going to give them the material to take a look, including the configuration and how do they deal with the system, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Everything
Okay.
will be on a daily basis. Suppose in case if we are starting to learn the enterprise structure from today, like we're looking at the company code and how we will create the personal area, sub area, grouping and all. So
Okay.
I'll give the entire documentations for it.
Okay. So as a part of the process, you're also going to teach the enterprise structure configuration that is necessary for HCM.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. And for practicing, because SAP is going to be difficult from a theoretical perspective. From practicing, do you know, or is there a way where they can access the SAP instance?
Yeah. See, the system which I'm showing right now, that is the SAP EHP9 version
Okay.
of ECC.
Hmm.
So they will be getting the similar kind of access for their practice. Now here,
Okay.
in case to look at the enterprise structure.
Hmm. So as a part of the course, they'll be getting access to SAP, is what you're saying? Is that correct?
Yeah, right. They will give a server access.
Okay.
The I forgot her name actually. Dipali will give them the server access to work on the system and do the configurations.
Okay. And as a part of the process, are they also going to be doing any dummy project, like just to configure end to end, to run some processes?
Yes, that can be done, but I'll have to. I will be sharing. I can share a couple of let's say documentations for the blueprints which I am already have done for the previous projects. I can go through it. That is not an issue. But just once the course is over, I will look at it. Once suppose we have done a few modules training. After that, we can look at the blueprints for it.
Okay, sounds good.
That can be done.
So okay. So just a last question from my side. as a part of the sequence in your training, you're going to start teaching them from blueprinting or the requirements, followed by how to put it on the system, and then running through a sample test to see if everything is configured correctly as a part of the standard systems. Correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
As per the course, we first is the implementation methodologies,
Okay.
right? I'll just show you just a second. Give me 1 minute.
Hmm.
Yes, so as per the requirement, what we do is first we need to look at the various how the architectures of SAP, right?
Okay.
Then we'll look at the implementation phases. So either way we can do it in the implementation phases in the beginning, or we can do it in the last, whatever sounds looks good, or whatever is the interest. Okay. Then we will look at the organization management. Start with the organization management. So in the organization management, we will look at the simple maintenance and expert mode of creating entire company. So there are two ways in which SAP HCM works. One is a simple maintenance method, and another one is an expert mode. So both these methods we will be using to to develop an organization starting from scratch. So maybe suppose you start with ABC organization, then we will start with various departments, right? Then we'll configure various locations. Then we'll start hiring employees. So from entire process of HR, like hire to retire, we will do it.
Okay, it's clear. So you'll also be teaching them to access data on different tables from a functional standpoint.
Yes. NumCar, AVR, ABKRS.
Okay.
These are the standard features which is there in SAP HCM. Okay.
Okay.
Then there are tables for payroll, and there are tables for payroll run. This will go through it. So everything will be starting from scratch. So as a new project we'll work on.
Okay, that's clear. Good to know. Thanks, Anustav.
No problem.
I have a question also.
Sure, tell me.
So how much time it will take to learn everything? Because I'm new. I'm totally a fresher. I don't know A, B, C, D about it.
See, normally we do around 30 to 35 sessions to complete an SAP HCM. Right? So based on your availability and my availability, I will try to connect at least 3 to 4 times a week.
Okay.
Now, in that scenario, generally it takes around 1 to 1.5 months to complete it. Once you do it, after that you need some time to practice it. Okay. So you can say overall within 3 months you will be able to grab it. But I will not say that you will understand the 100% of it, because initially it takes time to learn the processes. Once you understand the basic overviews of the HR processes, then the SAP system, it will not take much, because the rest is you need to mug up a few systems and learn.
Okay. Okay.
So suppose we do with the topic today, like suppose we started with enterprise structure, we define company, company code, and personal area, sub area. This is just an example I'm giving you. Now here, once you are free, you start practice it, right? So I will try and see if we can do the sessions on alternate days, because it will be good, because to understand the process also and to revise it, right?
Okay.
So then it will stick to your mind. Once it starts sticking on your mind, it will be easier for you. It's not a rocket science, don't worry.
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right, no problem. So yes, Dipali, are you online?